Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the last part of this particular series. That is, if you have seen my last two videos, we have in the first video we have created a Figma design of this particular calculator, and in the second video we have actually designed this entire UI in HTML and CSS. And in today's the last in this particular video we are going to make this working. Okay, so right now if you click on any of these buttons, actually this it's not going to work because we have not done any calculations yet. Okay. So we are going to make this work with the help of JavaScript. Okay, so let's start. But before that, just to give you a little bit of knowledge of this particular a new website that I have just found. I would like to show you that to give you a little bit of idea of how you can design your own neumorphic uh, designs. Okay, so let me show you that particular website. So this is the website. It's called neomorphism.io. So here you can see you can create your own website, sorry, your own neomorphic buttons. Okay, so basically all you have to do is select a color. So in my case, it's white color, complete white color. Then here you can decide from which side the light is to fall. Okay, so by default it is from this side, so you can change the side according to your need. And also you can change the the way in which the button will look. Okay, so if you select this particular shape, you will see that it will look as if it is slightly pressed. Okay, so that look will come. And in this case it is looking much more pronounced inside button. Okay, so let's suppose you decide to use this particular style. Okay, you can see at the bottom you get this particular style that you can use to get this particular effect. Okay, so let's try that. So let's copy this from here and let's try to apply that to our buttons and see how does it make much difference or not. Okay, so currently this is our these are the two lines by which we have generated neumorphic effect. So instead of this, I'm going to replace it with the thing that I have copied. Okay, so I have copied this and let's save it, and you can see this is how it looks. Okay, obviously it we a little bit more of tweaking will be required, but uh, this is how you can use this particular website for designing your own neumorphic designs. Okay, so but I was happy with my selection, so I will do undo and go back to my particular design. Okay, and this is I'm back to my design, and I think this looks better in this particular scenario. But obviously you can tweak and get better designs from here. Okay, so once that is out of the way, next I can just close the CSS file. So the part of the CSS is done. Now let's come and make a new file for the JavaScript. So let's call it main.js. Okay, you can call it anything. I have just called it main.js, and now I have to include this to my page. So for that I can just do um, the script tag with a source of main.js and save. Okay, so once I have this, now this main.js will take effect. Now the first thing that I have to do is I have to get each and every element and Basically I just have to get this particular element, display element, and I have to set in as soon as the page loads, the initial value should be 0, right? So let's do that first and let's see how we can get that. Okay, so let's take a variable called display. Okay, so let display, and now I have to get that particular element, right? So I can do document dot get wait, I will use query selector, and here I will just select the name of the button, and the button name is, I think, sorry, it is not button, it is I think display element, right? So dot display element. Okay, so this will give me that particular DOM element in this particular variable. Okay, so now I can do anything with this. So let's do display dot inner HTML. Let's set it to 0. Okay, so let's see if that takes effect. So you can see that takes effect, and now whenever the calculator starts, it starts with a value of 0. Okay, so once that is done, next is to apply an on click event to all the buttons, right? So now let's first select all the buttons. So let buttons is equal to, and here let's select document dot query selector all this time, because there is going to be a lot of buttons. Okay, so and if you come over here and if you look at this, I have, for each and every button I have given two classes. Okay, so one class is throughout all the elements is remaining the same, and the other class changes based on the characteristics of that particular button. Okay, so for example, if it's a clear button, then I am just calling it as button clear. Okay, but one thing to note is all the class all the divs have this particular element, that is button. Okay, then I could have I just have to select those buttons. Okay, and once these buttons are selected using query selector, now I can add an event listener to each one of them. Now for that I can just use buttons dot we can do um, let's say for each. Okay, so we can do button for each, and inside this for each I can just run function, and let's say button. So each button will be passed on to this particular function, and here what I can do is I can just use button dot add event listener, and to this listener I am just going to add a click event. Okay, so when that particular button is clicked, I want to run this particular function. Okay, so function, and let's call it E, so that is the event, and that's it. Okay, so once this is done, I can simply say console.log just to check if everything is working. So I will just say hi, and that's it. Okay, so once I save it, now I can go to inspect and go to console and start clicking the buttons, and you can see it is type printing hi. Okay, so once that is done, now we are ready to update our what do you say, our display. Okay, so to update our display, it's going to be whenever I'm going to do the click event. Okay, so let me just show you how we can get what key is pressed. Okay, so just to find out which key is pressed, I can simply do E is the event. Okay, so that event has an object called target. Okay, and target will give me that particular element, And for that element, what is the inner HTML? Okay, so if I just print that, let me just show you in the console. If I print that, you can see whatever button I am pressing, it is giving me that particular character. Okay, so once this is clear, so once this particular part is clear, now I can remove this console.log. I don't need console.log over here, and all I need is I need a if statement over here. Okay, so there are many ways of doing this. I'm just trying to use this particular method. So what I'm trying to do is, um, first I'm trying to create a condition. Okay, so where if the target, whatever is the target, if it is equal to the let's say clear symbol. Okay, so it's a capital C. So if it is clear, so if the button pressed is C, that is clear, then all I have to do is take the display and make it 0. Okay, so whatever is there in display, just make it 0. Okay, otherwise, that is else if. Okay, so another else if. So here what I'm going to do is again check the code, and I'm going to check if it is equal to. So now out of all these buttons, I am interested in this equal to symbol. Okay, so uh, that is, so when I press the equal to symbol, so these are the two buttons which are very important. That is a clear button that will clear the display, and when you press equal to button, it will actually calculate the result, right? So these two buttons I will put it separately. And finally, the logic for this we will write it in a while, but let's go to the else part. And else if it is not clear and not equal to, then that means it is one of these characters. Okay, so if these are the characters, then what we can do is just take the display, so display inner.html, and append the result with whatever is the target character. Okay, so whatever is the character, I will just take that and append it to the inner HTML. Okay, so what this does is, let's suppose initially we have the result as 0, then after appending it, it will add it to the end of the string. Okay, so let's save it. And now if I, let's say, press 1, you can see it adds it to the end, 2, 5. Okay, so it keeps on adding. Okay, so that part is clear. Okay, so now you can see the problem here is that whenever I press any button, okay, so if when I press any button, you can see the initial 0 is still there. Okay, so I don't want that. So to remove that, I can simply add an if statement. Okay, and check if the initial element, that is this particular element, if the initial data is equal to 0, okay, then I will set that equal to a empty string. Okay, so once I do this, then if I save it, and now if I press any number, you can see it gives me the result. Okay, so all the all the things are working, and now all we have to do is write the uh, what happens when you press the equal to symbol. Okay, so now when you press the equal to symbol, all you have to do is take this, and there is a function in JavaScript which is called as eval. Okay, and eval just takes any expression that you have and it evaluates it. Okay, so our expression is there inside the inner HTML only. So let's take that. Okay, and just save it. Okay, so like for example, if I write 8 plus 8, okay, so this is the expression that is stored in display.innerHTML, right? And if I give this to eval, it would actually evaluate this particular expression and give you the result. Okay, so like for example, you can see you get 16. Okay, so this is applicable to anything like 5 multiplied by 8. If I press equal to, you will get 40. Okay, and just like that, a simple calculator can be made. And in fact, if I try, I can even make complex calculations, like I can add multiple numbers, then multiply and then subtract. So all these things is possible, and then I can get the result. Okay, so you can see it works perfectly. And uh, by this such a simple code, we have created a working calculator, which can calculate which can do basic operations. Okay, so I hope this particular 3-part video series was helpful for you guys to understand the design process of now how to use Figma, then followed by how to convert your Figma designs to HTML, and then at the end how to make it much more interactive with the help of JavaScript. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. We will come up with more such videos in the future. Till then, goodbye.